So for all you millennials out there hoping for a housing crash, sorry, not happening yet. But there's still hope. Today we're going to check in on the housing indicators to see where they're at and talk about when things might change. So COVID-19 kicked the crap out of the housing market for about 2 months, but now it's roaring back in a lot of places in the US like you wouldn't believe. How long will this last and when's the best time to enter the market? Let's look at the indicators. But first, please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps support all this fabulous free content. Existing home sales. These numbers are coming from the NAR May 2020 real estate report that just came out this week. Existing home sales decreased 9.7% from April 2020 to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 3.91 million in May. Overall sales year over year fell 26.6%, and the seasonally adjusted annual rate was 5.33 million from May of 2019. The median existing home price in May was $284,600, and that's up 2.3% from May 2019 when it was $278,200. May's national price marks 99 months of year-over-year price gains. Now, local. To get your local data, you really just need to look up your local real estate association. They usually will put out a monthly report that will give you this kind of local data that I'm about to share for both Reno and Las Vegas. Okay, Reno. May 2020 saw units sold down to 396, and that's down 41.9% from the year prior. Definitely a setback compared to our typical spring. The median price was $399,900, up 2.5% year over year, and that's not too shabby given that the entire state was shut down. Now in Vegas in May 2020 saw 2,075 homes and condos sold. This is down 49.7% from the year prior. The median price for a single family home was $315,000, and that's up 5% from a year before. The median price for a condo was $185,000, and that's up 3.1% from the year prior. Observations. Nationally and locally, we were in full lockdown, so it's not surprising that these numbers would be down. And since then, unit sales are trending up nationally in many markets and locally, definitely in our Reno and even our Las Vegas markets to some degree. New listings. All right, national data. I really like Mike Del Prede's real estate tracker tool for keeping tabs on new listings in the markets across the US. And here you can see that in a lot of cities, the trend is generally up. Locally in Reno in May 2020, we had 601 new listings on the market. That's down 37.7% from the year prior. And note the tiny blip on this chart that I'm going to show you where the inventory dipped for COVID. Not as big a dip as I would have thought. In Las Vegas in May 2020, we saw 3,956 new single family and condo listings hit the market, and that's down 30.45% from last year. So sellers are coming back to the market. Pending home sales. National data. Now the pendings on Mike Del Prede's chart tell a far more interesting story. As you can see, some cities are performing well: Chicago, Houston, Phoenix, Denver, while others like Philadelphia, New York, San Francisco aren't recovering well at all. NAR is also reporting an overall uptrend nationally, with pendings through June 14th rising 6% over the past 4 weeks. So for local data in Reno saw 635 pending contracts in May, and that's up 3.9% from the year before. And this is representing 75% of available inventory, which is a lot. Las Vegas saw 4,001 pending single-family homes in May and 788 pending condos, or 39% of available inventory. So, as always in real estate, results vary by location. Month supply of inventory. All right, on the national level, total housing inventory at the end of May totaled 1.55 million units, and this is up 6.2% from April and down 18.8% from 1 month ago when it was 1.91 million. Unsold inventory sits at a 4.8 month supply at the current sales pace, and that's up 4.0 months in April, and that's up from the 4.3 month figure recorded in May 2019. Locally, in Reno, in May, Reno had only 2.1 months supply of inventory, which is 5% more than in May last year. And in Vegas, they had a 3.4 month supply of single-family homes available, up 42.2% from the same time last year. And they had a 4.8 month supply of condos, which was up 93.6% from the year prior. So buyer demand is still high. Remember that anything under 6 months supply indicates a seller's market. However, notably, in Las Vegas, inventory has risen from this time last year. New home building permits. Nationally, permits predictably plunged through the COVID lockdown, but as you can see on the end here, they have turned sharply up. They still have a ways to go before they get back to where they were, but recently builder sentiment jumped a striking 21 points in June to 58, which is the largest monthly increase ever. Locally in Reno, building permits took a plunge during the COVID lockdown, and although there was a brief bump up, it's back down. In Las Vegas, residential building permits took a nosedive in May. So basically, permits are by no means out of the woods, and though sentiment is high, this is definitely one to watch. Interest rates. Nationally, interest rates are ranging from 3.1% to 3.4% for 30-year fixed loans. I don't have local data on interest rates, but I would just say that rates are still at historical lows, and the Fed will probably keep them low for the foreseeable future, because if they go up too much, the U.S. literally cannot afford to service its debt. So yeah, interest rates will probably stay low for a while. Purchase mortgage applications. Nationally, purchase applications increased June 17th to the highest level in over 11 years and for the 9th consecutive week. The Mortgage Banker Association Purchase Index increased 4% from the week earlier and was 21% higher than the same week 1 year ago. So buyer interest in purchasing a home is still strong and rising for the time being. Loan rate locks. Nationally, the American Enterprise Institute's Housing Center has been tracking purchase mortgage rate locks since the beginning of this year. From their June 3rd update, purchase mortgage rate lock volume for the week of May 25th was up 19% from 1 year ago. Year-to-date volume is now running 12% ahead of last year. And a rate lock is when you're applying for a loan in the home purchase process and you decide to lock in your rate. And rate locks are usually a sign of confidence that, okay, I'm committed to this payment and I'm going forward with purchasing the house. So although it's more difficult to qualify for lending, buyers with the means are stepping up, and many are purchasing second homes, while investors, who represent 11 to 14% of the market, depending on the month you're looking at, are holding back and waiting to see what happens. Unemployment. Nationally, U.S. unemployment still looks nasty, but has fallen a bit recently. Officially, it's at 13.3%, but arguably it's higher. The U6 measure, that includes people who are part-time looking for full-time or people who've given up on their job search, puts it at 21% unemployment. And the SHADOWSTATS measure, which calculates unemployment according to historical standards before the government started tweaking the formulas to make them look better, puts unemployment at 34%. But on the bright side, continuing claims have dropped off some, as this chart illustrates, so some people have been called back to work. Locally, here in Reno, unemployment is much higher than when I last looked, running at 19.6% as of the end of April 2020. Vegas. Unemployment in Las Vegas, which drives the entire Nevada number, is at an eye-watering 33.5%, bringing the overall Nevada state unemployment number to 28.2%, one of the highest, if not the highest in the nation. So, observations. 86% of homeowners use financing to purchase their homes. Homeowners need jobs to get financing. Although not a perfect correlation, it's big enough to make a difference, and there will be fallout over time. I'm actually one of those unemployed Nevadans worrying about how to pay my bills and my mortgage long term, and I'll talk more about that at the end of the video.
I think they're only like 50 bucks.
Mortgage defaults. Nationally, mortgage defaults are still low at about 2.33% in the US, and this is about the level that they were in 2007. This is a bit of a lagging indicator now that we have institutionalized forbearance. 4.6 million Americans are currently in forbearance plans, representing 8.7% of all active mortgages, and that's down from 8.8% last week. So the current trend is going down slightly. But as more layoffs are announced in the coming weeks, this is one to watch, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this number tick up again. Foreclosure sales. Nationally, according to NAR's latest release, distressed sales, foreclosures and short sales, represented about 3% of sales in May, which is about even with April, but that's up from 2% in May of 2019. According to RealtyTrack, 1 in every 15,443 housing units in the US is in some stage of foreclosure. That's a lot lower than it's been in the past, and it had been trending down prior to COVID. But since the lockdowns in March, pretty much everything has been frozen in time with all of the government stimulus relief efforts. Some states are faring better than others, however. Maryland is leading the pack with 1 in every 4,288 properties in some stage of foreclosure, while South Dakota has the fewest with 1 in every 379,279 properties in foreclosure. Locally here in Nevada, interestingly, Humboldt, Churchill, and Douglas counties have the highest foreclosure rates, with 1 in every 7,455, 1 in every 10,876, and 1 in every 24,063, respectively, in some stage of foreclosure. While Clark County, home to Las Vegas, has 1 in every 62,687 properties. Washoe County, home to Reno, is at 1 in every 95,534, which is the lowest rate in all of Nevada. So actual foreclosures are pretty much a lagging indicator at this point, but it will be interesting to watch the trends here as unemployment takes its toll. Okay, Google Trends. This is national data. Google searches for sell house are up in the past 2 months. Searches for buy house are way up in the same time period. So you can see in this chart the gap between the buyers and the sellers. And forbearance searches are down from their prior highs, but there's an interesting little uptick at the end that will be interesting to watch. So in Reno, buy house Reno and sell house Reno have such small search numbers that this really may not be meaningful data, but it is interesting to see buyer and seller levels of interest and how pretty closely matched they are. In Las Vegas, buy house Las Vegas is barely trending up, so interest might be weakening. We'll see. Sell house Las Vegas is also trending up a bit, and the buyer-seller interest gap isn't that big. Okay, portal traffic. Nationally, as this chart from SimilarWeb shows, home search traffic to both Zillow and Realtor.com is up quite a bit since April 2020, with average visit durations at over 7 minutes, ranging from 14 to 24 pages, so people are spending time looking at houses. Showing traffic. Okay, nationally, showings according to Showing Time have completely recovered and are now running above last year's numbers. So buyers are actually looking at homes, which is even more difficult now due to COVID measures. And note, these numbers also include virtual showings. Now, I can't break this out by city, but in Nevada, the numbers aren't quite recovered, and they're running 3.9% below last year. This is mostly driven by Las Vegas, which is 7 times bigger than the Reno market. And I'm sure it's also a product of the extraordinarily high unemployment rates that Vegas is dealing with right now. Frankly, it's impressive that showings have bounced back as much as they have, and I'm wondering if a lot of that is driven by California escapees. That would be something to look into. Demographics. Remember, real estate is primarily driven by life events because shelter is a basic human need. And I know you guys have heard this before, but there are 72 million millennials out there, and they are getting married, having kids, and moving to the suburbs now that they can work from home in the age of COVID-19. 38% of home buyers are millennials, and this is our largest home buying demographic. And NAR estimates that given their numbers, we are probably about 4 million housing units underbuilt at this point. So for the time being, inventory is tight, buyer demand is high, and the housing crash is canceled for now. But there are many headwinds ahead of us. Unemployment is huge. There will be business bankruptcies. There will be more layoffs. And there may or may not be more stimulus to go along with it. How long will this last? I'm guessing that this is going to run hot into the summer and probably start to cool off late August, maybe early September. So as I said earlier, I was temporarily furloughed from my marketing job on April 1st. This was a professional salaried position with benefits. And I'm a homeowner who qualified for lending with that job. And I just found out that I will not be hired back. So it's not just low-wage millennials in service-level jobs that are being affected by this. It's Gen X and probably baby boomers too. How many of us not hired back are going to impact the economy? Will we reduce spending? Yes. Will we go into forbearance? Maybe. Will we find new jobs or businesses to start? Hopefully, lots of unknowns. So for those of you waiting for a crash, keep waiting. The headwinds are there. For those of you thinking of selling, this is honestly probably the best time in the next 10 years to do it because demand is high, buyers are out there, they're paying top dollar, there's a lot of markets where you're getting multiple offers, so it's a great chance to maybe get the best deal that you may get for a long time. And I did a whole video about why that's the case, which I'll link to here. So for those of you who need to buy now for pressing personal reasons, go ahead, it's okay. If you're gonna be there for the next 10 years, get the best deal you can and just do it. Money is cheap and that works in your favor. So are you buying, selling, or waiting? Put your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as it helps support the channel, and I'll see you next time. Catch my breath. This is really high altitude we're at. I think we're at like, I don't know, 7,500, something like that. Ow. This log really hurts. Where am I? It's up 2% from May of 2019. Oh my God, there's a bee. He thinks my tripod is a flower. Okay. Oh my God, I thought there was a bug on my leg. Oh my God, there's a mosquito on me. Oh my God, I think I might have been kneeling on an anthill. Oh my God, I am always running from the sun and it's always getting me. Just can't escape it.